Welcome to AboutFACE Theatre presents 5 Questions With, and today's guest, Teresa Coleman Wash. Teresa is a producer, a playwright, and the founding artistic director of the Bishop's Arts Theatre Center in Dallas, Texas. Between 2005 and 2008, Teresa led the funding and renovation of what was then a 10,000 feet dilapidated building into today's BATC, 170-seat proscenium theatre that has received national recognition for its new play and women's theatre festival, its world-class jazz series, and its year-long community education programs, as well as winning many coveted awards. Teresa is the recent recipient of an Irma P Award for Theatrical Excellence, an Obelisk Award for Arts Leadership, and a National Guild of Community Arts Education Milestone Award. In addition, as a writer, Teresa's work has been featured in New York, in Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Chicago, and Los Angeles, among others. Teresa, you are very welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so honored to be here, and I can't wait to get into the conversation.
Great.
I don't know how you guys found me, but I'm so happy. I'm really honored to be here.
Yeah, well, we're so glad to have you, and we're so glad, just the work that you're doing is inspirational.
Thank you.
Yeah, so speaking of inspiration, what play or experience first got you into theater?
So years ago, and I'm going to date myself, I saw Diana Ross in The Wiz. Of course, this was, on TV. I didn't see the Broadway production, but I saw Diana Ross in The Wiz years ago, and it completely changed my life. I knew that I wanted to work in theater in some capacity. And so in college, I majored in business administration. But I always had this love for theater, and I was always on the stage. Incidentally, when I graduated, moved to Atlanta, hooked up with this church who put me in charge of the Christmas gathering one year. And they said, we want you to be in charge of entertaining everybody. I'm like, so what do you expect me to do, write a play? They were like, that's a good idea. And so that's actually how it started, that I wrote a skit for that Christmas gathering. It went over so well. Friends said, you should write the second half of that skit. Wrote a full-length version, and 18 months later, we were on tour in Southwest Georgia with this play that I wrote for my church, and I was completely bit by the bug. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah, chartered a nonprofit in Atlanta in September of 1993. We were working very closely with an organization that was kind of rehabilitating men and women who had gone through the prison industrial complex. Those people that were on tour with me, we just used anybody who was willing to work with us. And of course, when I got married and moved to Dallas, I told my husband, I said, I want to try this theater thing full time, because in Atlanta, I was selling broadcast advertising for the Disney family. And I think that, that experience really helped hone my business skills. A lot of those skills I was able to transfer to theater. And when I moved to Dallas, of course, we had a 10,000 square foot building donated to our nonprofit in 2004. It was, again, a rundown building with some lofts upstairs. We gutted it, raised about $500,000 in private sector funding. We were able to get a construction loan for like $700,000. We started the renovations in 2006 and completed the renovations in 2008, just as the economy plummeted. But I distinctly remember attending an art symposium by Michael Kaiser, who was the president of the Kennedy Center at that time. And Michael said something that resonated with me deeply, and I think that really helped propel our success, even during our current realities, and that is, people don't get well by doing less. Sick people don't get well by doing less. Now's the time for you to really connect with your community. And so we came back to the theater during that, 2008 economic downturn and asked the community, what are we doing that you'd like to see us do more of? And what are we not doing that you'd like to see us implement? And from those conversations, we were able to build our programs. Our audience wanted a jazz series. Parents wanted somewhere for their kids to be during the after school and summer months. And artists wanted somewhere to hone their craft. And so from those conversations, we started producing a jazz concert, a jazz series. We have a summer theater camp. We're in session right now. In fact, we often have a waiting list. Every year there's a waiting list for that program. And then our theater series is a place where artists can hone their craft. And many, I will say that this program has been a springboard for a lot of artists who are now who have residencies all over the country and touring. And so we've learned to be active listeners. And I think that advice back in 2008 really served us well during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
I love the picture of that journey, Teresa. From taken from this like space that was nothing, and you've made it something so amazing out of it.
Yeah, and it's been 15 years that we've been struggling with that construction loan debt. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant here in the United States. So several national artistic leaders decided to form a coalition back in August to lobby for federal funding to save our stages.
Great.
And I was part of that planning group, and we were able to get $16 billion in funds for theaters and promoters and all across the country. And so those grants are now rolling out. And as a result of that grant, we were able to pay off our construction loan debt like 3 weeks ago.
Oh my God, amazing.
Congratulations. That's huge. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. It's been, Paul, it's been an incredible journey that none of us could have ever imagined, quite frankly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so Teresa, at the start of things, you were talking a little bit about the inspiration of The Wiz. But what's a great play that you love, and why?
So a few years ago, I was elected to the Dramatists Guild Council. I got a chance to see every show on Broadway. As part of my responsibility on the council, I was a Tony voter. So again, I had to see every show, and I've seen so many incredible shows, but I have to tell you that the one that resonated with me deeply was Fela. It was on Broadway in 2017, 18, I believe. No, it was maybe earlier than that. But Fela was, what I loved about the story was, first of all, I'd never seen my culture on stage in that way. The show opened with dancers, and all of a sudden you were in the shrine, and it just kind of immersed you and engulfed you in ways that was exciting and provocative. And so I would say Fela was one of my all-time favorites.
Brilliant. I love it.
I also saw The Mountaintop by Katori Hall, which was very very riveting. It's exciting to see new voices and stories that are being told in ways that are not traditional and non-conventional. And so that was really exciting for me as well.
Great.
No, amazing place.
Yeah.
So obviously you've had many experiences, I'm sure, even especially with a building of things not going as you kind of planned or envisaged. But is there an experience in your theatrical life that you can tell us about that where something turned out differently than you expected?
I mean, just the donation of this building, I never expected that I'd be, property ownership has been a game changer for us. And I remember when the building was initially donated, I felt saddled in debt. Listen, I'm a country girl from Albany, Georgia. I had never been $1 million in debt. That was all of the money in the world to me. It was very frightening. It was frightening, honestly. And so when I decided to really pursue the career full time, and also, I naively got in this business thinking I would write and produce all of my plays. What I do now more so than anything else is create opportunities for other artists. So I had to have that was a complete paradigm shift for me. And I think the theater is better and more vibrant and sustainable because I got out of the way. Because I surrendered my will to the will of the community. And I think that's what happens with a lot of theaters. We're in these communities where people across the street don't even know who we are or what we do and have never, entered our building. And that was not going to happen with us. We intentionally make sure that we know that our neighbors know that we're here and that they know the services that we offer and that we talk with them also. There's no way that we're going to be able to sustain what we do if we're not talking to the community, quite frankly. During the pandemic, we worked very closely with the mayor's office. And when the vaccine rolled out, we said to him, we want to make sure that we have that vaccine. We need to be able to offer it to our constituents. And I have to tell you, I think the mindset right now of the people in our community is that we're too important to fail. One of our colleagues, Ty Defoe, said, if you're not planning for 7 generations deep, you're not dreaming big enough. We took that to heart. And so, we can't, anything that is, that centers me, myself, and I is not sustainable. It's very self-absorbed. And so I've tried to move as far away from that as possible.
Wow. Okay, Teresa, so you've had this amazing journey in the theater already, but what keeps you coming back to the theater? What moves you? What excites you about theater?
Well, we have a track record, right? I mean, we've been in existence for 28 years now in September. And so we see the return on investment when students who go off to college come back and work in the arts, or if they go off to college and work in some other part of the country. I mean, we have a I can't tell you, I have so many stories. In fact, last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, we were doing a parent engagement concert at the park down the street. The young lady walked up to me and said, Miss Teresa, I have to tell you about this scholarship opportunity that I got. And none of it would have happened if I hadn't gone to the summer program at the Bishop Arts Theater. So, I mean, we have a track record. We see the return on investment. The other thing that I want to share is that we're working with Pen America on a one-act festival in February of 2022. And the representative there was telling me about an inmate or a person who's incarcerated who wrote himself off of death row. And when I think about the critical race theory that this administration is trying to put in place, and how storytelling is so incredibly important right now. I mean, I feel like we are in such a powerful position to change the world in ways that even we can't imagine right now. Somebody's able to write themselves off death row. You write yourself off death row. I mean, talk about the power of the pen.
Yeah.
There is no other.
Yeah.
There's no other example that I can think of that kind of illustrates how deeply important our work is right now.
Mm-hmm. You're giving me the chills, Teresa. Like I'm tearing up. I got the chills. So, like, sorry, I'm just a little overwhelmed, which is a good thing. So you're talking there, but I mean, obviously there's inspiration, there's a lot of things that you give people. For yourself in being in the theater, for the time that you have been, are there any skills from theater that you have found that are useful in the rest of your life, or with people that you work with or that you've seen? Is there anything?
Yeah, I mean, definitely critical thinking skills. I love the fact that so many new voices are coming to the surface right now. We have always given a platform for those unheard voices, but I like that we're listening differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading a book called Think Again by Adam Grant.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing, and it talks about how, traditionally we like to be around people who look like us, who think like us, who share our values. But there's a real value in making sure that you are around people who challenge what you think, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge what you think because the reality is we're learning things in this moment that we've kind of had a cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, for sure.
That we've on. And so it's really important I like being in a room where I'm surrounded by different people, because I found that I'm somewhat of an agitator and I like it. I like giving platform to those stories that make us think.
Yeah.
And make us reevaluate why we've done what we've done. And so I that skill, the agitator.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The agitator is a good position to be in when you're curating a theater season.
Yeah.
That's perpetuate a story, to disseminate to the entire country.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, this has been so fantastic, Teresa.
Yeah.
But just tying into, you're talking about curating a theater season. As a bonus question, can you tell us anything about what you're working on at the moment?
Yes. So I just mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned or not, but we just announced a playwright in residence. It's a local guy, a local playwright who has actually international appeal. His name is Frankie Gonzalez. Frankie has worked in theater and film. In fact, he was in the writing room for 13 Reasons Why on Netflix. But an incredibly talented young man who is homegrown here in the Dallas area. He's worked very closely with our theater. So Frankie is going to be curating our theater season. We also are going to be spotlighting some of his work, which is just so profound. We have a new associate artistic producer who's on staff. I mean, we're really being intentional about training the next generation of leaders. And so I want to hear from them. And like I said, I want to make sure that we are in a room with people of different backgrounds, different races, and that we're active listeners. So we're getting ready to announce the season, our theater season. A jazz concert has already gone on sale. The first show is September 11th. We're almost sold out for that, for those 3 concerts. And, I mentioned that we're already in production with our summer theater camp. Yeah. So we're getting ready for the showcase for that. So there's a lot going on here, and I'm excited. And I'm excited to get out of the way and let the younger generation lead also.
Wow.
I want to come to Ireland and have a Mai Tai.
We'll have a great night out, Teresa. We'll get you to agitate with a whole bunch of people.
Okay, cool. Hook me up.
Well, Teresa, thank you so much. It's been amazing. It's been such a delight to talk with you, and thank you for sharing your story and your journey with us.
I really appreciate the invitation. It's been so nice getting to know you guys, and let's continue the conversation.
Yes,
absolutely.
Please.
All right.
Great. And thank you to the audience too for joining us. If you enjoyed the interview, please like below and follow AboutFACE and share, because we believe theater makes life better. See you next time on AboutFACE Theater presents 5 Questions With. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and share. Thanks for watching.